should have never changed. Who's the beast? They trying to copy that ASAP voice? These guys are mediocre, nothing special. They need a gimmick. You guys need a gimmick. Need something gimmicky. What happened? What the hell happened to you guys? Where have you been?
Right here. In my own little kryptonite sanity room.
Graduated from the booze to the eyes. Dropped out just to polish up my flies. Made a movie, I think we made a movie. Rabbi, can you bless a nigga one time? Me, I see it all. Got my brother right here.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Dude here, and I'm finally back after a long hiatus. I decided to take a little bit of a break just because the 1.31 update kind of messed everything up for me, and I wanted to kind of change my approach on making these setup videos for you guys. So today I'm actually coming at you with multiple setups for the Alfa Romeo cars in this game. Now, I'm not going to be releasing a setup for every single one of the Alfa Romeo cars just because I don't have all of them. With that being said, most of the Alphas that see the light of day will be in this video. I have some really good setups as well as some information on when I feel is best to use these cars. I'm really excited to be back, and if you guys are excited, we're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so clicking that like button as well as the subscribe button really helps me out in the YouTube algorithm and helps get more setups out to you guys, the fans. So the first car today, we're going to be starting off with a compact with the Alfa Romeo Mito. Now, this is a very unique car in the sense that it is easy to obtain, but you don't see it very often in lobbies. I'm running this car maxed out here, but if you do take off the brake pads or you take off a bit of front downforce, you can get this thing down to below 650 pp. Do I think it's a crazy fast car at 650 pp? No, but it's a fun and unique option. It's definitely one of the better compact FF cars in this game. I found after the 1.31 physics, the FF cars took a little bit of a hit, and this car can be a little bit understeery, but for the most part, I do enjoy driving it. I also think it looks pretty cool too. The one bit of advice I'll give you, even with this setup, is to be very delicate with the steering, especially on throttle at high speeds. It's very easy to induce understeer and torque steer with this car after the update. But yeah, this could be a great 650 build. It could be a great just fun car to run in a cruise lobby. And yeah, that's the first car. Car number 2 is the Alfa Romeo 4C GR4 car. The setup I'm using here is for maxed out, but if you adjust the transmission a little bit, you can run it at a variety of different power levels. The main advantage of this car is it's super light, which makes it one of the best maxed out GR4 cars. It really excels in medium to low speed corners, is definitely adequate in high speed corners as well. Just in general, it really does feel super nimble. The type of lap times that you'll expect is around what a BOP GR3 car would do on soft tires. That is extremely impressive for a GR4 platform, and I do enjoy this car a lot. It is a little bit oversteery, but you'll definitely get used to it, and I was able to find a lot of pace in it. Now for the next Alfa Romeo GR4 car, the more popular one I would say is the 155 2.5 V6. Of course, also in the GR4 category, has about the same power and weight and lap time as the 4C GR4, but it does it in a very different way. It has a tendency to understeer a lot at high speed, but oversteer under heavy braking, but that rotation you get under braking can definitely be used to your advantage. I run a little bit less than max downforce on it, but if you want to crank up that rear downforce for a little bit more security on the brakes, that's completely understandable. But yeah, the four-wheel drive is very helpful out of corners, and the acceleration honestly is quite amazing with this car. Not just the acceleration because of the four-wheel drive, but just the pull that you get in third and fourth gear is really good. And like I said, it will get about the same lap times as the 4C GR4. It just does it in a very different way, and I highly recommend the Alfa 155. The next car I'll be looking at here is the older Alfa Giulia, the Sprint model. I thought at first when I upgraded this car, the fact that it has no front downforce would cause understeer or a very poor driving experience. I was completely wrong. Now, a lot of cars in this game, including this one, the front tires seem to skip a lot in high-speed corners, and it makes the front end bounce a little bit because of the no front downforce, but it does feel quite good and feel balanced in the high-speed corners. You can definitely get it to rotate with this setup I have. It also really feels amazing in the low-speed corners with the short wheelbase, and the upgraded turbo gives it some much-needed torque lower in the revs. I will say for my testing, it has a very strong lap time for an under 300 horsepower car, and it's also very strong at its PP level. I'm sure this will be a very effective option in the lower PP range, and I definitely recommend this if you want to try something different and try something fun that has a little bit less power. Now next up, undoubtedly probably one of the more sought after tunes in this video, the Alfa Romeo 4C GR3 car. Now overall, this is not one of the strongest maxed out GR3 cars, but this is great for PP limited racing just because the PP on this car maxed out is so goddamn low. So if you're able to bring this thing down to 775 or 750 PP, it'll have top tier straight line speed at those PP levels. And honestly, this is one of the MRs that you can run max front downforce and really not have any oversteer issues whatsoever. It's not a super nimble car. It has a little bit of on throttle understeer at low speed and likes to kick out on the brakes at low speed as well. Once you get used to the way it drives, it can be a very strong option. But like I said, I wouldn't really use it for maxed out, but it does have a very strong top speed, and it's a little bit different than the Alfa 4C GR4 in that regard. The next car I'm actually going to be showing you guys is a 750 PP build for the Alfa Romeo 8C Competizione. Now, if this car competed in any sort of Competizione, I promise you it would lose. I love the way it looks and the way it sounds, but it drives like a bit of a boat. However, I do think its best use case is as a 750 PP build. I do not have custom rims on this car because the stock ones are so pretty, which hurts our cornering a little bit, but it does allow us to max everything else on the car out and stay under 750 PP. If I put custom rims on there with the wide offset, I would definitely go above 750 and I have to take off some power. So yeah, I just have the stock rims with the wide offset. Dynamically, it really struggles in the low speed traction zones. It also understeers quite a bit at high speed. It just really doesn't have a lot of downforce for a car of that stature at that price point. My best advice is to drive the car at 90% effort and don't overstep its boundaries. It reminds me a bit of driving the Aston Martin DB5, which isn't a good thing for an exotic car released in 2008, but you can get it to work as long as you don't push way too hard and lean on it way too much. But even despite its shortcomings, I would say it's a very serviceable car for 750 PP races, nothing more and nothing less. The next car I'm going to be talking about is the Alfa Romeo 4C GR3 Road Car. I don't have much good to say about this car. I find most of the GR3 Road Cars are quite bad, and I've only actually driven this car a couple times. But since I have a setup for it, I might as well throw the setup out there for you guys. Like I said, there's not really much to say about this car. I really don't like it very much. I don't really like any of the GR3 Road Cars, but here's a setup for it anyways if you want to give it a try yourself. The next car was actually a car that was added later into Gran Turismo 7's life, and that's the new Alfa Romeo Giulia GTAm. When I first purchased this car, a lot of people told me it was really sketchy, but when I finally got around to upgrading it and driving it myself, I found it to be a sweetheart, especially compared to the 8C Competizione dump truck that I was talking about earlier. The presence of 8 gears really helps this car stay in the power band, especially considering the peak power range is quite narrow. Overall, it does feel quite great to drive. A little bit of understeer at low speed and oversteer on traction, but that's not atypical for a sedan with 850 horsepower. I would say this wipes the floor with most of the sedans around that power range in this game. This would also make a great 750 PP car with some slight detuning, but I absolutely love running this thing maxed out as it is. It definitely punches above its weight and is magnificent to drive. And last but not least, I have to talk about the regular Alfa Romeo 4C, but with the 458 Italia engine swap. Now this is another car that definitely punches above its weight. While the PP rating maxed out does put it in a weird no man's land area, it can hang with some of the big dogs at 800 PP. For a car with such a short wheelbase and a heavy rearward weight distribution, it handles the 800 horsepower it has very well. It's also a little weak in the downforce department, but that doesn't stop it from rotating well at high and low speed. It's one of the best driving experiences in my opinion of all of the Alfa Romeos. It's a must if you're a car enthusiast. The Alfa Romeo's 4C stock engine is just a joke in comparison to the swap, and I definitely think you guys are going to enjoy this one a lot, especially with the setup that I have equipped. Well, that's it for the cars in this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think of these setups. You know, give me some feedback, some constructive criticisms. And also, I started with Alfa Romeo because it's one of the first brands alphabetically that I could have chosen. But if you guys want me to skip over to a different brand, if that brand is highly requested, whether it be Porsche, Nissan, Mazda, anything that you guys want, let me know, and I'll try to get a video out with all of those cars as well. And this is the format I'm going to typically go with from now on for my tuning videos, just in case PD decides to change the physics again and ruin all my setups. I can at least come out with a video with lots of setups for you guys as opposed to doing one at a time, because it is a lot of production and it takes a lot of time to make a video, so doing it just for one car, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, especially when PD loves to change the game every few months and kind of screw everything up. Yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, we're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so if you could click that subscribe button and also leave a like, I would greatly appreciate it. But other than that, guys, I'm back and I'm happy to be back. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm out. Peace.